Guys, I'm not gonna lie, the UK dating scene is nuts. So imagine, yeah, I was speaking to this guy. It was going lovely, nice. I've only ever met him twice, by the way. All of a sudden, he starts moving left. So I said to him, I said, like, what's going on? He goes, yeah, I think we're gonna have to did it. I said, huh? He goes, I've just realized you're not trying to free it up. I said, what? He goes, I'm not gonna lie, I've spent about 7 bills on you, like, and I realized, like, you're not really trying to free it up, this, and this. I said, so I need to cheat you in order for you to feel like I like you. I was like, nah, Oga, pack your load and shift, because I don't know what the fuck you think this is. But I literally said to him, I was like, I'm not gonna lie, I don't know what kind of woman you know, but I'm not them. So if that's what it is, then that's what it's gonna have to be. Because are you sick?
I mean, look, at least he was honest, right? Clear communication. 700. How many dates was that? Where was the level of intimacy? Did you guys kiss? Were you holding hands? Were you hugging in the cinema? Was he feeling like, you know, this could go somewhere? Or was that not the case? If it wasn't, there was like no level of intimacy and it was basically like platonic, and he spent 700 and he just felt like it was going nowhere, then I'm not mad at it. I'm not mad at him. But if you done like everything that people do when they go on dates, you know, you hold hands, you kiss, you know, just the sex just wasn't there, the sexual stuff just wasn't there yet, then yeah, that's just a compatibility issue. That's on him. He don't like women with self-respect, because there are some women that just don't have sex straight away, and in my opinion, that's a good thing.
Every freaking time I watch a man fumble my best friend, I genuinely wonder, do they think that they're gonna get better? My best friend is a sexy, jacked, tan, shredded, blonde, freaking dedicated gym baddie. Like, what are these men smoking?
I want to play another video that I responded to months ago, and I'll explain how it correlates after.
Modern day women just don't qualify for the top tier men, and that is the truth.
You believe you're a top tier man? By what standard?
I'm 6'4", only about what? 8% of the entire world is 6'4". I make well over 100K a year, and I'm black at that if you add that on. So just if we're speaking about those figures, the things that women are attracted to, no, I'm not going to toot my own horn, but I'll let you do the math.
So I responded to this video, and then most of my comments were saying that this guy was only talking about his physical characteristics, he was only talking about how much money he made, and how tall he was, and how attractive he was, and that does not make him a top-tier man. You see where I'm going with this. I've noticed an influx of women lately, and I understand that they probably don't realize that they're doing this, but I see a lot of women kind of using similar RP talking points now without realizing it. That is an RP talking point, saying that your looks, that your status, that your money, all of that stuff makes you a top tier dating option, and so that should be the main focus that people care about. You heard similar talking points with Megan Thee Stallion. People said she's so successful, she's famous, she's so good looking, she has body yada yada. How could anybody do better than her? And then this woman comes on, she says, my best friend is so attractive, she's so physically attractive, she's a gym rat, she has this great physique and face and body, all that stuff. But nothing about her personality, how she would be in a relationship. And I'm not saying that she might not be a great partner in a relationship. I'm just saying that I am finding it interesting now how when women are being described now as these top tier dating options, a lot of people are not mentioning their personality. But then when a guy does the same thing, like in the clip that I just showed you, it kind of sounds obvious that all of those things aren't going to automatically make you a top tier dating option, because people also want personality. People also want somebody that they resonate with, that they connect with. And so I just wanted to point out kind of the cognitive dissonance there, and possibly started as a conversation starter. I'm not denying that looks are very important in terms of initial attraction, that hot people definitely get away with more, they definitely get more leniency and more people overlooking certain things. But for a lot of people, if not most people, that's not the only thing that makes you a top tier dating option. That's not the only thing that keeps people in a stable long-term relationship. That is my personal opinion, but let me know what you guys think. Bye.
It's almost like the red pill and these feminists have very similar ideologies. Who has ever said that before? Right. Here's the thing. When they list the archetype of what's top tier, that's fine. That might be based purely on data. And that might get you in the door. Might make it easier to get you in the door. But what this woman is expressing is her friend is getting in the door, but the men are fumbling her. Well, now it becomes about who you are. Once you're there, now it becomes about who you are. Doesn't matter how jacked and blonde you are. If you're not nice to be around, the men are going to get with you and then realize that. And then you're going to become single. Same goes with men. You could be 6'4", 100K, all this kind of stuff. If you're a shit person, it's going to be very difficult to maintain relationships. So yeah, as men, for example, should we work on the external things that make us more valuable? Sure. But you still have to be a nice person. Women still have to like who you actually are.
The male equivalent of The Notebook is a man who's like really down on his luck and is just absolutely broke, just like nothing is going right for him, and a woman sticks by his side no matter what. Women do not like that fantasy for the same reason men don't like The Notebook. What do you think it's a female fantasy to have you waiting around for her for 7 years? That's crazy. Well, I don't want to be with you while you're broke. I will say,
That's not why men don't like The Notebook. Men don't like The Notebook because it's a tale about cheating and then getting a happily ever after from the woman's point of view. The woman in that movie has a great man. The man she's with is wealthy. He's kind to her. Her family loves him.
I'm sorry. I've had this woman in my videos a few times. She's a feminist. She's not like one of the dumbest ones, but she's a feminist, okay? So here's what it is. But that take that's insane. Just didn't see the cheating. Like the cheating to them in The Notebook is like it doesn't exist. That's so strange.
He stuck by her side through it all. Gave her a life. And she cheats on him for a boy that she met in high school for 3 months. They were together for years. That's why men don't like The Notebook. Not because a man had to stick around waiting for a woman for 7 years. That's also a terrible part of the tale. But that's not the reason why men don't like The Notebook. I'm almost certain if you completely remove the aspect that the woman in The Notebook was already engaged or married to another man and then cheats on him with a dude that she met or was with for 3 months in high school. If you remove the cheating aspect from The Notebook, I'm pretty sure men would have no issue with The Notebook. Oh, well, it's a guy who fell in love with a girl. He waited for her. He built her a house. Oh, okay, that's nice. It's the fact that she cheated on a good man to go with a dude that she knew for a little while. Then you're saying that men's fantasy is a woman sticking by him while he's broke. The male fantasy is a woman loving him for who he is, not for what he can give her, not for what he has in his pockets. You know what that is? That's actual romance. Loving someone for showing up as they are, not what they give you. Women are not romantic. Y'all only want what y'all's thing of romance is cheating and getting something out of it. Men just want to be loved for showing up as they are. The same way women can be loved showing up as they are. No man cares about how much money a woman has, or what her career is. They only love her for her. Who does she show up as? Is she kind? Is she considerate? Does she think about me? That's actual romance. Unconditional love. Showing up as you are and being loved. That is the male fantasy. And you're trying to equate that to a woman saying, I don't want to be with a man that's broke. A lot of women are bums with men who have money, but men don't even think of them as bums because they love them what? Unconditionally. Male fantasy is simply being loved for who they are.
Social media has exposed so many things, man. And I'm glad. Number one, he's completely right. Women are not romantic. They don't do romantic things. How can you be romantic and you do nothing romantic? You receive romance. Very different. Men are romantic, right? That's number one. Number two, yeah, man. These feminists in particular uphold the patriarchy in ways that is so contradictory to their message. A man wanting a woman to be with him when he's at his lowest is somehow a bad thing. A man wanting a woman to love him for who he is as a person is bad because the patriarchy dictates that men must have resources And guess who upholds that more than any demographic? Hashtag modern feminism. Feminist. 2026. Full of shit. Knowing someone for who they are isn't unconditional love. There's still conditions to that love. They have to show up and do what they've been doing, right? And I think we have to be careful with that. There is no unconditional love outside of love between parent and child. And even that, man, if your child was like a serial rapist, there are certain things that your children could do to, you know, potentially break that bond. But women are not loved unconditionally. They're just less conditions, but they're not loved unconditionally. And we shouldn't love them unconditionally, because in a relationship, you have a job to do, I have a job to do. Whatever that job is between the two people in a relationships. But yeah.
Imagine you start dating a girl when you're 17 and just a few weeks later she moves in with you and you begin living together. After a few years, you decide to propose. She says yes, but then tragedy strikes. Your future wife is diagnosed with cancer. You're a professional Valorant player, one of the most beloved in the entire world, but you decide to walk away at the peak of your career to take care of your woman's health. You start donating your own blood and other things because your genes are compatible. You take care of every expense, medical bills, apartment rent, household costs, and pleasures for both you and your girlfriend. You accompany her every step of the way. Chemotherapy, treatments, hospitalizations, recovery. You help your girlfriend build a professional career on streaming and video platforms. Her audience grows exponentially in no time. Meanwhile, you have to push your own channel to the background. And in the end, after doing all this sacrifice, she decides to leave you because she needs to discover herself.
Some people might expect that in this video I'm going to condemn this woman and say something like, this proves how bad women are, they just use men, and so on. But no, not really. I would even go as far as to say that just because Tens was there for his girlfriend doesn't automatically mean she's obligated to stay with him forever. Now, with that said, what is the point of this video? The point is to remind guys that you need to take dating skills seriously. It is one of the most important areas of your life. I think it was Warren Buffett who said that choosing a right spouse is the most important decision you will ever make. And yet, throughout our lives, in school, university, work, we learn so many things that are not that important, while learning about dating and relationships is often completely overlooked. Look at what Tens did. From what we know, he stood by his girlfriend, later fiancée, when she was diagnosed with cancer. He supported her, made sacrifices, helped her through treatment, and was there every step of the way. And to be fair, that is what a good partner is supposed to do. The question is, was he doing all of that for the right person? Was his choice of partner correct in the first place? Because when someone agrees to marry you and then leaves you after everything you did for her, especially after such a difficult period, it raises questions about whether she was the right choice. They started dating when he was very young, around 17. And realistically, at that age, most guys don't have much experience with women. That's why I often say to younger guys, don't rush into serious relationships too early. First, get some experience. Go on dates, parties, social events, understand what you actually want. Maybe after you've been with 5 to 10 different women, you will have a clear idea of your standards and what you are looking for. Because this is where many men fail. You can be successful in your career, disciplined, hardworking, but if you make the wrong choice in your partner, it can affect your whole life. And this is not just about Tens. Think about examples like Johnny Depp and Amber Heard, Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie, Kanye West and Kim Kardashian. There are many cases where extremely successful men still ended up in very difficult relationships, risking ruining their lives. So the takeaway is simple. There is nothing wrong with being loyal, supportive, and making sacrifices for someone. In fact, that's a great quality, but it has to be for the right person. And to choose the right person, you need to have experience and understand how dating works.
This is unfortunately true, and he is correct. Your partner gets sick. Are you just what you leave them? Okay, you stayed. So what do you want from that? You stayed, which was the right thing to do. Is she obliged to stay with you forever and ever and ever now? No. Ideally, she would see that and it would inspire or trigger some sort of loyalty towards you to stick it out through the hard times and really, really try. But that's again if you pick properly. He clearly didn't. On top of that, they were dating from they were 17. The sad reality about dating and why it's very rare to see people date from like a young age all the way into their adulthood is because people change. even at 21, I'm not the same person I was now. So the idea that you're going to be with a woman from 17 to your entire life sounds great. Probably isn't going to happen though.
This liquor got me in my zone. Now I'm blowing up your phone. Blowing weed, smoking the ozone. I just can't let this go. This liquor got me in my zone. Now I'm blowing up your phone. Blowing weed, smoking the ozone. I just can't let